Now I'm going to go ahead and try blowing all this rat stuff off. Well, as you can see, my friend the rat got in here and did some more work. So I'll have more stuff to clean up. Now what I did is I left the battery disconnected because there may be an electrical issue that's causing the battery to drain. I can't tell because the battery failed. I took it back to the auto parts store and they replaced it. Now I'm going to go ahead and try blowing all this rat stuff off.
This kohlrabi should have been harvested probably July. And when you let it go, see how crazy it gets? It becomes even more of a alien creature. But I'm going to take it back to the house and we'll cut it up and we'll see if it's too pithy or if maybe these sections here might be edible. We'll see. We won't know till we try. But I'm going to clean off the dead leaves there. Get rid of the root from the kohlrabi. Stir this up. And let's see. Let's see. I think I'm going to plant this with spinach. I think that'd be a good idea. Now, I need to clean this guy up first here and decide whether I'm keeping anything here. Again, I have a bunch of fruit on here that, not a bunch, I have some pieces of fruit on here that look like they're going to make it. So, get the crud out of here first. The branches that don't have any fruit. And make a little stack of the tomato clips that I use. The reason I'm doing this before I make any more decisions is I know that some of this stuff is just not going to do anything. So I'm going to just plain get rid of them because that's silly. I've done that before where you let it live for months and you water it and you take care of it and you spray it to keep the bugs off of it, and it is a waste of time. So what I'm going to do this time around is try and be a little smarter. Oops. I have there we go. This is Bella Rosa here. And that one, obviously, is not doing anything. That's just a stick. I have a tomato here that's good. Another one here that's good. Let's see if we can get these to the point that they will start to turn orange. If they will start to turn orange, I will then harvest them and make the plants go away. But I know that if I can get them to go to slightly orange, they'll produce a very yummy fruit, whereas if you don't get them to start going orange, they won't be as good. So, kind of doing a haircut here so that I can see what I have. Okay. Very interesting. When you clear back the stuff, all the stuff that's being produced new is on the same plant. So when you take all the dead stuff off, you can then see that. And that's why I wanted to see, because sometimes you'll find something like that. That means I don't need to keep this one. It's not doing anything. So I'm going to clear this off completely. I want to make sure that I can take as much of the dead leaves and non-productive plant material off here as possible. I now have one remaining tomato plant, which is a Bella Rosa, right there. I'm going to use clips to hold this up. And this may seem a little silly, but hey, you know, I'm trying to be systematic about it. In the past, I've been sort of vague about it, and I would like just kind of leave everything, and then you couldn't really see what was going on, and no, it has to be more precise than that. I had actually anticipated that by now this would all be gone, but between a schedule that was just too crazy to be true, and some very odd weather that kept us from freezing until later than we anticipated. So there's that. And you'll notice I am just tossing things on the ground right now. I'm going to sweep. I'm going to put a dust mask on, and I'll sweep this whole thing later. There we go. But I'm going to get rid of the tomato roots. And now you might say, why would I do that? Well, it's because I'm actually going to plant in here. I know that even if everything goes perfectly, this is only going to be good for a limited amount of time. And by perfectly, I mean those fruits just simply start to turn orange. So this plant does not have any fruit on it. There we go. Not bad. I'm going to get totally dirty today, and that's just fine. This is a work shirt. Okay, and that's trash. Thought it might actually be dirt, but it's not. And that is also trash. Okay. Well, it sounds like I need to bring in some more dirt. Okay, so first we'll get these clips out of here so I don't accidentally bury those. I thought that I had a sticker. Lately I keep showing up with stickers everywhere because the cat has been rolling around outside in the dirt. She loves to do that. And then she gets stickers on herself. And she brushes up against you the way cats do. Yeah, not a great plan. Hi, Rufus. It's fine. Rufus heard me close the door and he was afraid I was leaving him here. Which I'm not doing, of course, but he thought it might be true. I'm going to just pick up a little of the biggest stuff here. And what do I need to do? I need to get an empty bucket. So, Rufus, move. Good job, dude. Good job. I'm going to use my empty bucket to collect some dirt from my potting soil bag that has decided to break. Right? Oh my goodness, you're dirty. Have you been dusting the whole world with your head? He says, yes, I have been, Mom. I've been dusting the whole world with my head. That sounds like an excellent idea, doesn't it, guys? Now, this was a kohlrabi bucket. And it's going to grow up to be spinach. So, I have a nice layer of brand new dirt. It's a little bit cold, but it'll warm up pretty quickly. And we'll leave that be. Now, do I have a dustpan? I should. Dustpan and brusher right down here. Because what I want to do is I want to clean up around things as I go through. I have a couple of labels here. I also have a container of labels that I brought down with me. I'm going to collect these out of here. I've got a spot in the house where I'm getting all the labels so that I can reuse them. Hi, Rufus. I know, Mom's just kind of starting at one end down here because if I look at the whole thing and go, oh, this is just too much to do, I'm not going to get anything done. But if I focus my efforts on just one little section, then I can get something done. And then it'll be done. And that's the whole point. Let's see, I cut back the basil that was in here and the basil that was in the other planter. And the basil in the other planter has resprouted. So we'll see. I doubt that it's going to do anything more. This absolutely smells wonderful. This is Thai basil, and it has actually put out some new flowers. It's really trying hard, which is kind of silly because there's no way it's going to really be successful, but the plant doesn't know that, so it's just going to keep trying hard. I'm cleaning out all the dead leaves in here and sweeping off the tables and stuff. Garbage on tables like this can be an excellent source of infection. So whether it's fungus or bugs of some sort, you really don't want it. And my goal is multiple times a year to be able to get this completely cleared off. Well, because this stuff is still sort of in use, I'm not doing a complete clean, and I can see that the rodents that are getting in here are using a couple of these locations as bathrooms. So I'm not happy about that, of course. I don't like rodent crap everywhere. This was my red noodle bean. It suffered tremendous tragedy multiple times this summer, but nonetheless, we still got a half-decent crop, almost as good as we would get outside. Because outside we frequently have a lot of rodent damage. They're apparently very sweet and tasty to the rodents too, so yeah. So I'm just going to get this stuff sort of beat back into submission. And we didn't really have any disease in here on the beans this year, which is awesome. And we didn't have much in the way of problems with bean beetles or anything else like that. So this tells me that next year, starting in the spring actually, anytime after about February, I'm going to probably experiment with growing some beans in here because I think it'd be worth it. I've done bush beans in here before, and I wasn't thrilled, and I don't know whether it was the planter or the soil or the weather or heaven knows, but at any rate, there are a couple of spots here that are trying hard to come back on. So I'm going to try and cut off everything that's mostly dead. Leave the stuff that's mostly not. And I don't expect anything awesome to happen, but we won't know until we see. Like the bottom stuff here, it's not super crunchy, so it's not like dead. It's got a little bit of green center to it. So I'm just going to leave that like that. on this Thai basil and just see what happens. I don't know. I don't really expect anything cool and amazing to happen. I don't expect to have Thai basil in February. But if I get anything out of it, even just looking at these flowers is just amazing. I mean, my outdoor flowers are mostly gone. I have one or two that are somehow hanging on because they're close to the foundation and they're getting enough warmth from the building that they're hanging on. But yeah. And I think what I will do next year is put the red noodles up this way farther so that I can, like maybe here, so I can grow them that way, so that it has lots of room to expand without being in the way. I think that might be a plan. So we'll see. I'm just going to clean this out of here. I've got quite a bit of either small rat or large mouse poo in here. And I'm not going to worry about it in terms of making it go away or anything. I'm taking away the leaves, I'm taking away the label and the holder for the irrigation. And there's a spider in here, he can stay. I don't care about the spider. And okay, so this is Bella Rosa. That's going to be spinach. As I recall, this is regular basil here, and this has not shown any signs of re-sprouting, whereas the one in the other pot has. So let's see if I can get this out of here. I have to remind myself that I can spin this around because it's not attached to anything. I'm so used to having it, everything attached to either irrigation or hanging lines that I tend to forget sometimes that I could spin a bucket. I think Henry is outside. I can hear water in this. So he has he's draining the irrigation center outside. He's been rolling up the hoses, and he wanted to wait until it got warm enough to roll up all the hoses today, because we are freezing at night now pretty reliably. So getting that sort of winterization done is an important concept. We could get away with it for a while longer, but at some point we're going to start breaking hoses. And I'd rather not do that. I couldn't imagine what the noise was at first, and then I realized he's pulled the supply hoses on this. So I was hearing water in these. Boy, I tell you what, these basil plants have significant roots. This is kind of like sometimes when you're pulling a cabbage root, you're like dismantling the whole pot practically because it's got such an extensive root system. You wouldn't notice this as much in a garden environment, but because the entire root system is contained in a pot, you tend to notice it more here. But I'm just going to persevere on this because I really want a couple of empty pots at this end. I'm not going to have time today to finish the whole greenhouse, but I can get started on this end. Whew. There we go.
Well, Irene's still up in the greenhouse working on cleaning that up. I got the hoses all put away so they're not going to freeze. Now I'm down at the Range Rover to do some work on it. You'll notice I have a 2x4 under this hood. The reason for it is normally I just leave this hood up, but we've had some high winds, and high winds could make this hood come back down. I didn't want that to happen, so I just did it this way.